happy to say it's a new day and I have something special for you today. Should you buy sport seats if you have a Lux or a premium Q50? Let's find out. So right now I'm actually sitting in my stock Lux seat. I actually went ahead and purchased a 2016 Q50's sports driver seat. So my driver's seat is a sports seat, and I'm gonna compare the two to see if it's worth the money. Because I bought mine off of eBay. It was used, but it was low. It was a low miles Q50 that got into an accident. So I believe the one I bought only had about, I don't know, less than 20,000 miles on it. And I bought the seat from that car, and it's in pretty good condition. Now you could tell somebody was sitting in it, but let's be honest, I just want to see what it feels like. Okay, so let's go ahead and compare the two and see if it's worth it. Okay, I'm going to start off by going ahead and measuring the bolsters between this Lux seat and the sport seat. So in this Lux seat, we're looking at about 7.5, around there. At the thickest point of the bolstering of the seat, it's about 7.5. Okay, and the sports seat, we're looking at about 8.5, just above, yeah, just about 8.5. So I'm gonna break down this comparison into a few categories. I'm gonna break it down to aesthetic differences. I'm gonna break it down into how it feels to sit in, and also I'm gonna break it down to worth. Is it worth the money based off of the features, the different features that the stock Lux seat has compared to the sport seat that comes into the sport and the red sport? So aesthetically looking, the Lux seat is pretty basic. It's a pretty basic seat. For a basic seat, it still has some sort of bolstering. You know, it's not like a flat bench seat or nothing, but I mean, this is 2020. I mean, most vehicles that you're gonna buy that's a recently purchased vehicle, you know, like 2013 or newer, it's gonna have some kind of bolstering, you know. But it looks pretty basic. Like if you was to look inside the interior of the Q50 before you bought it, the seats wouldn't blow you away because they just look like basic seats. And the features of it, you know, it's like a pretty simple luxury feature where you got a lumbar support, you got the forward, the back. That's for the actual upper part of the seat right here. The bottom part, you know, you can go up and down in the rear, up and down in the front, and slide forward and back. And that's pretty much it. And this is also an airbag seat. So we're going to get into information about that at the end of the video. So just stay put. And this, my friends, is a sport seat. As you can see, this also is an airbag seat. I believe airbag seats in a Q50 is standard for safety. We already measured the bolster, so you can actually feel the difference in the bolstering. Like it feels so much bigger and girthier. Like that's like shaking a little person's hand. That's like shaking someone's hand that's bigger than yours. You know, it's like, whoa. Now, aesthetically looking, this one actually has a different shape, if you will. Like it has more shoulder width here, so it can support like the wider body people, like their wider shoulders, like me. It can support you better up here. And not only that, it has bigger bolsters, looks nicer. Like the black is actually like a darker black, and it has like more of a satin look to it rather than a matte look like the regular seats here. And I actually like that. And as you can see in my car, this is the only seat that's sport. I don't have a sport seat in the passenger side. This is only for the driver. And me, you know, I like driving through the mountains. So I needed something with more bolstering, so I wanted to go with the sport seat and see what it's like. Um, as far as the bottom goes, the bolstering at the bottom is also bigger. You can feel the difference. You can actually feel the difference here. But it's not much different than what you would find here. Is oh, actually, oh, you can feel that difference. Yeah, this is a lot thicker than than the stock seats. So I retract that earlier statement. Not only that, you get extra leg room here for the taller folk. And just like the other one, you get the features of the lumbar support, the back, the bottom, but you have something extra here on the sports seat. This actually controls the bolstering. So when you flip the switch down and up, it actually, I don't know if you can see it, but it pretty much makes the bolstering tighter or looser depending on the size of person, depending on your preference. I like it a little tight on me because the last two cars I've driven had heavily bolstered seats. Well, not driven, but owned, had heavily bolstered seats. And I got used to it and I liked it. So I like it a little tight on my body. Now, I believe this seat, may be worth the money, but let me get into it later. So right now I'm sitting in my sport seat. I've owned this seat for the last 5 months and I've really adjusted to it. One of the things that I've noticed with having this seat versus the stock seat is some of the features. So talking about some of the features, heated seats. The heated seat portion of the seat, it actually takes longer to warm this seat up than it is the stock seat. And I think it may have something to do with the extra material that you have on this seat versus the stock seat. Also, the bolstering. I actually love the bolstering because the bolstering, the fact that I'm able to adjust the bolstering to my settings rather than trying to adjust to like a stock setting of a bolster that comes into a seat that's pretty static when it comes to bolstering. That is a huge luxury feature, and I like that. I like that a lot. Rather than having to manually like tighten the bolstering or loosen the bolstering and keep it in that setting, just having a switch that I can hit real quick, I can change it up. And, you know, our bodies change on a daily basis as well. So sometimes we may feel a little bit bigger than other days and we want to loosen up the bolstering. So we have a switch for that. Now, as far as installation goes, once I actually purchased this, even though this seat came from a 2016 Q50, the installation was pretty much perfect. It was no difference at all. No difference at all. Honestly, like only thing I had to do was unplug my battery because they are airbag seats. Unplug my battery, let the charge go dissipate. 10 minutes later, come back, install the seat. Everything mounts perfectly the same, just like the Lux seat. Obviously, I wouldn't think nothing different. They both came from Q50s. From the 2016 to 2018 Q50, the only change was what? The body, the exterior body. Like, not even that, just bumpers. Like, it's pretty much it, like bumpers. So all in all, if you have a base Q50 or a Lux Q50 and you're looking at upgraded seats, I would probably start with the sport seat. I actually do think it's worth the money because it's a perfect mix for a dual purpose vehicle like the Q50. The sport seat is not too bolstered to where it's uncomfortable to get in and out of your car, but it's also bolstered enough for you to drive hard in the mountains or at autocross. Now, if you're trying to make your car like a track focused vehicle, then you should probably focus on a more race inspired seat. Kind of like the Sparkle seat that the guy at Speed Culture Studios has. That's a nice seat. But as far as like dual purpose vehicle, this sport seat is perfect. It's adjustable. It has luxury of being heated. Has a good quality build. It looks nice inside the interior with the stock interior. It matches pretty well. Only difference is what the satin finish rather than the flat black finish, which is not a huge deal. especially since you're the one driving it. And honestly, it fits so well. Like most people don't even notice that this seat is different than the passenger seat. So, just to kind of highlight, if you're gonna spend, 400 bucks on a seat, why don't you just get like a factory seat, see if you like it. I mean, you can always sell them because on eBay when I was checking, they sell pretty quick. Like people buy these things for some reason, and I know why. I mean, it's a good seat. It's a great seat actually, and it's an airbag seat, so it's safe. But if you want some, something more track focused, like I said, just try to look for something else. Now, versus the Lux seat, if you're just somebody who just daily drives, don't waste your money if you're never going to race your car, if you're never going to put your car through the paces, because the regular Lux seat is also a great seat. That seat has all of the luxury features that would come with a Q50. It just doesn't have the extra bolstering of the sports seat, and it doesn't have, the beautiful look of it like the sports seat. But you will be happy with that seat. That seat is comfortable enough, it's sporty enough to where you can go drag racing with it. But like if you're trying to go autocrossing, like it'll really start to show like its downside. Like this seat with its holes in it, like it actually holds you better in the seat rather than the Lux seat where your body will actually slide around a little bit. With that said, I'm gonna conclude this video just to let you guys know that a Q50 sports seat is probably the best seat for the Q50 for dual purpose use. If you have any questions or comments, don't feel free to go ahead and add them in my comments box. And also, just continue to support your boy. Hit the like button and subscribe if you feel obligated to. All right? God bless.